Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do the third installment of the solid state logic bus plus bus compressor. Today we're going to go through some features with using it as parallel compression and crushing drums and blending it in with the drums and bass and guitar and that kind of thing to show you how to use the negative ratios, which are a new addition to this particular compressor over their previous offerings, and just walk you through a couple other things in this compressor. So if you did not see the first three videos, all the links will be in the description box below. We did one where we did an unboxing, and then we did a video where I did a kind of a classic setup, and then we did a third video where we talked about some additional features with the dynamic EQ and a few other things. And now this time we're going to use this thing in a little bit of a different way. We're going to take it off the master bus, we're going to put it on some drums and do some parallel drum bus compression. So like, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Links will be in the description box below, including my affiliate link, so you can pick up the Bus Plus for yourself at Sweetwater. That is an affiliate link, and thank you so much in advance. So I'm sure by now you've already seen the Bus Plus. It's up on the screen. We're still using just the left side of the compressor. We're using it in classic stereo mode just to keep things easy. So this time I want to explore the negative ratios. So as I said, what's great about the Bus Plus is there's a ton of different features on this unit, comparatively speaking to their 500 series unit or the one that's in my SSL Origin here in the console. And that's what makes this compressor so versatile and so great. It's got so many options, so many things you can tweak. It's crazy. You really got to get out the manual. You should print the user manual, and you should read it from cover to cover if you really want to know how to get the most out of this unit. We're trying to hit all the high points in these series of videos. One of those features that makes this compressor special and unique is the additional ratios that they have. And they have three negative ratio settings, a negative 0.5, 1.5, and 2.5. And we're gonna listen to what that's gonna do. That's gonna give us kind of this pumping and breathing effect as we use this in a parallel drum compression crush kind of a mode. And then we're also gonna add maybe some dynamic EQ to it, give you a couple of different options on how you can do it. So what I have here on the console, just so you know, is I have just a drum kit, kick, snare, hats, 3 toms, overheads left and right, rooms left and right. Those are all just lightly EQ'd, no other hardware on the drums at all, just the little bit of EQ on the console. That's all coming down to a drum bus with no compression and no EQ on that bus. At the same time, and that's just our dry, regular old drums. Let me give you kind of a sample of what that sounds like. We're just going to loop some drums here so you can hear it. Here we go. So here's just the regular drums, no processing except for a little bit of EQ. Okay, so there's the regular drums. Now, we also have, out of those regular drums, I have the kick, the snare, and the overheads only. I have those being routed independently to a second group here on the console for the Bus Plus. And on that bus, we have the Bus Plus. So we're going to use parallel compression in the compressor on the kick, the snare, and the overheads. Okay? And then we're just going to do some settings, show you some different sounds. We're going to listen to that in solo, just the crush track, and then we'll blend it with the regular drums. And then towards the end of the video, I'll bring in a bass guitar and a couple of rhythm guitars so you can kind of hear how it sits in the context of a rhythm section. So here is, with the compressor off, you can see the compressor right now is not on. Here is just the kick, the snare, and the overheads coming down to that secondary bus with the first bus muted. So all we're hearing is what the Bus Plus is going to be processing. Here it is. Okay, so it sounds exactly the same because it is exactly the same. Now we're going to engage the Bus Plus, and I have some preliminary settings set up here. Let's take a look at what we kind of done here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our negative ratio. We're going to set that to the negative 2.5. You may or may not be able to see the text here, but it's 0.5, 1.5, negative 2.5 right here. Okay, and then right above that, you have the 20-to-1 ratio, 10-to-1 ratio. We're going to start with the negative 2.5, okay? Using the fastest, slow attack, fast release. You will see on the meter, we're going to be doing about 8 to 10 dB of compression. We have the sidechain filter set at about 150 here. And we have the dynamic EQ turned off. So let me just play back the section of drums. Let me engage the compressor so you can hear what we kind of have as a starting point. So you can already hear, hopefully you can hear over YouTube, we're doing about 10 dB on its loudest hits, maybe 12 dB of compression. We're using the 4K mode, by the way, but the low THD and the feedback mode is turned off. And what you can hear already is some of that pumping and breathing effect from those negative ratios. I'm going to cycle through the negative ratios. Right now we're at negative 2.5. I'll go down to 1.5 and then 0.5, just so you could see how much compression you can kind of hear the effect of what that's doing. So you get the most of that pumping and breathing when you go to a higher ratio. When you go down to negative 0.5, that's going to give us the most, you're going to get the most compression, the most kind of the pumping and breathing effect. So let's do that. Let's do the extreme, shall we? And I'll just turn the whole compressor on and off so you can hear it. Okay, so on its own, you go, yeah, it sounds great, but it's too much. It's too kind of squashy. What happens if we kind of blend that with the regular drums? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back in the regular drums that are unprocessed, except for some EQ, as I said. I'm going to turn down here on this first fader. I'm going to turn down the Bus Plus, and I'm just going to slowly bring it up so we can kind of hear it, and then I will take it in and take it out right at the console so you can hear it. Here we go. So here's without the Bus Plus. I'm going to slowly fade it in. So you can hear we get a little bit more gas in the tank. We get a little bit more aggressive. We get more sustain to the snare, a little bit of crunch on it, which is great. And again, we could do more or less compression on that. Now, what if we muted the original drums and just listen again, just to the compressed, just the parallel track here? What if we added a little bit of, or before we do that, before I add a little bit of dynamic EQ to even juice it up even more, let me demonstrate I demonstrated the 3 negative ratios, but now if we go to like a 10-to-1 ratio, I want you to listen to the snare drum. I want you to listen to how loud and how much the snare pokes out. And as we come to a negative ratio, how it kind of pulls the snare in and tucks it in and gives it a little bit more of a roomy feel. It's subtle, but if you're listening on good speakers or good headphones, you should be able to hear it. So let's start with that. We're listening to now just the parallel track. And then I'm going to start by we're going to use the 0.5, negative 0.5 ratio, and then I'm going to bring it right up to 10-to-1. Listen to the snare drum. So obviously it sounds more compressed. It pulls it in so it doesn't poke out as much. It kind of sits back in the drum track a little bit better. And again, on its own, you may go, well, that sounds a little bit too crunchy. And again, you can dial all this into taste. As I said in the last 3 videos, the wonderful thing about this compressor, it is super, super, super duper versatile. The most versatile bus compressor, or the most versatile compressor I've ever seen, to be completely honest. As far as the amount of things that this thing can do, you can tweak this thing to your heart's desire and really get almost any sound you could possibly imagine could come out of this thing if you spend enough time with it and get the manual out. So I'm going to back off that negative ratio from 0.5 to 1.5 because I think that's where the sweet spot is. And then I want to add a little bit of dynamic EQ, low and high dynamic EQ, both on expansion mode and maybe compression mode. And let's just see how that kind of juices up and destroys the drums a little bit more. Keep in mind, remember, we're just listening to the crust track. We don't have the unprocessed regular drums in. They're muted right now. So I really want you to hear the effect of what this thing is doing. So here we go. Let's do that now. So just adding a little dynamic EQ, and right now we're in expansion mode and just juicing it up a little bit. Again, it just gives it a little bit more aggression. And this is really going to help. If you have a very dense mix, this is really going to help cut those drums through that mix, which we're going to demonstrate in a second. So that's by adding a little bit of dynamic EQ in expansion mode. Let me mess with the high frequency fast, low frequency fast buttons. Again, it's at its default setting, right? The low frequency is at 60 Hertz, it's a shelf. The high frequency is at 6K. We talked about that in the last video. Make sure you click the link in the description box. Let me mess with that a little bit, and then I'll go from expansion to compression and back, and I'll try to find where I kind of like it, and you can hear some of the different tonal variations. Here we go. So again, you can hear, I love it in expansion mode. You can hear how we could shape and totally change the sound of this thing depending on just how we want to tweak it, which is great. Again, that was just the parallel track. Now, once again, let's bring in the regular drums. I will start this down low. We'll bring it up again. We'll kind of blend it. And then I'm going to bring in a bass and a couple of rhythm guitars here, just electric guitars, just so you can kind of hear how it sits. And then we'll take the parallel drums in and out so you can see how it kind of cuts through here. Here we go. So here's just the regular drums, and we'll blend in the parallel track here with the Bus Plus. So really you can hear dramatically, it's just awesome how that sounds. How when I bring in the bass and the guitars and then I take away the parallel track on the Bus Plus here, you just the drums just kind of sink back. This pushes that snare crack a little bit further, a little bit more into the mix. And we're just using bass and one pair of guitars. I don't have the whole mix done, the whole mix in, but I wanted to really give you this kind of a sparse demonstration so you can really hear what it's doing. It really gets those drums to really cut through nicely. Great, right? So, you think about the Bus Plus, you think about it on the master bus and running a whole mix through it, and that's what we've done in the first couple of videos. And that's typically where I use this, to be quite honest. It usually just sits on my master bus. But here's just a great example where if you already have a master bus compressor of some kind that you really like, and you want the Bus Plus, the Bus Plus with all these additional features and added bells and whistles to this thing, you can use this as a drum bus compressor. You can use this as just a parallel crush, right? You can do anything with this compressor. And that's what makes, I believe, this compressor so incredibly versatile. So incredibly versatile. It's fantastic. Comparatively speaking to my my G series inside of the inside of my SSL console here, which is fantastic. This has got way more flexibility, way more options. And I think that if you're in the market for probably the most versatile stereo bus compressor on the market, I don't know if there's anything that's better than this or more versatile than this. A lot of options. That comes with some downfalls as well. It's got a lot of options. You really need the manual. You really got to have the manual. If you don't use the user manual, you're not going to get even a fraction out of this thing of what it really can do. And in this short series of videos that we've done together, we've only really explored the basics. There is so much more that this thing can do. It's unbelievable. So I highly recommend that you check it out. If you're in the market for a bus compressor, stereo compressor, this thing is amazing. Links in the description box below. That's my Sweetwater link. Once again, thank you so much in advance if you decide to pick it up. It's a wonderful, wonderful compressor. I'd be surprised if you put this in your studio and said, I want to send it back. The only thing that may get you a little frustrated is if you try to work this thing just watching YouTube videos and not getting out the user manual and really learning it. Because once you really learn it, you're going to understand the power of this thing, and it's great. And I'm looking forward to playing with it even more. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Now, as I said in the last three videos, videos. I want you to leave comments below. A couple of things I want to know from you. One, do you have a Bus Plus? If you do, what do you use it on? Do you do something different with it than I've shown in the last 3 videos here? I'd like to know what you do with it. Number 2, if you don't have a Bus Plus yet and you're thinking about it, but you want to see good old Uncle Dave here demonstrate a few more different things, or you have some questions about this unit specifically, please leave them in the comments below because I will answer them. And I also know my good friends over at Solid State Logic will be reading the comments as well. So if you have kind of a technical question or something that I can't answer, they'll chime in, I'm sure, and they'll try to help you as well to get you all the information that you need. And then if you want me to do some other videos around the Bus Plus, if you leave those below and let me know what you'd like to see, I can create more content for you guys in the future to try to help you out before you run out and buy this thing yourself. Or if you buy this thing and you need some help getting started, go back and watch the last couple of videos that'll help you kind of get up and running. And once again, print out the user manual. So thank you so much for watching this video today with me. Thank you again to SSL for sending me the Bus Plus. And until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so much for watching me, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.